जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय राम राम जय राम जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम yang ada nama ada राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Yes, really, we are very sorry. We apologize because somebody has returned. We were disappointed today. Pray Prabhupada will be gracious to see it goes well till end. It happens at times with all the preparation. God has got his own ways of pointing out our mistake. Today, before we start our usual this thing, today is a day we are with all gratitude to the beloved Purushottam Papa from Pujya Mataji for having gifted us this Anandashram. It was on May 15th, 1931, that this Anandashram came into existence. But for this ashram, we would not have been able to get in touch with all these. Because we all remember we were in touch with some Mahatmas, no doubt. We were associating with some religious activities, spiritual activities, once in a way. But actually, everything got triggered, well set, only after we started knowing about the vision, mission, and the function of Anandashram. At the time of inauguration, this is the appropriate time for us just to remember Papa's own words. After a few days stay, they all moved from Kasaragod. Papa and Mataji had to abruptly close and move. After a few days stay, Ramdas and Krishnabai, at the invitation of T. Bhavani Shankar Rao, came to Manchapati, now known as Ramnagar, for the opening ceremony of his newly built house in this place, very near where the hospital is there now. Others Bhavani Shankar Rao and others pressed Ramdas to have an ashram built near the Manchapati hill, which place was discovered to be not only solitary but also possessing all the scenic grandeur of the countryside. The selection of the spot for the construction of Anandashram has indeed a deep significance. Without knowing the antecedents of the place, Ramdas was prompted to choose it intuitively. He later discovered that the place, which is known as Manchapati, was at one time covered with a thick forest and that sadhus and sannyasis were doing tapasya in it. It was also said that the hill is sacred because in olden days there was on it a temple and a tank, faint traces of which are still to be seen. Tradition has it too that Hanuman, when he was returning to Lanka, carrying the hill of Dronachala, dropped a portion of it at this spot, and that portion forms the present hill. In this connection, Ramdas can definitely say God must have had strong reason for directing his servant Ramdas to this place. Both Hanuman and he were the votaries of the same name, Ram, and both were born on the same day in the Hindu calendar year. This cannot be a matter of mere coincidence. It must be a part of plan divinely ordained. That probably accounts also for the vision that some devotees occasionally get of Sri Hanumanji visiting the Bhajan Mandir of the ashram. One such was saved in the early years of the ashram, Srimati Devi Bai, alias Api Bai. She related to us one day a wonderful vision she had when she slept in the ashram Bhajan Mandir, saw a huge figure of a monkey entering the Bhajan hall, walking up to the asan, prostrating before it, and then leaving by the back door. The vision had made such a deep impression on her mind that when she was relating it, she felt highly elated, for she thought it was Hanumanji himself who had given her darshan. Agreeing to the suggestion of the friends, he decided to have an ashram erected on a small hillock by the side of a towering hill, highest in the range. At once, God, who gave the idea, set him to work for accomplishing it. He wrote appeals for funds to the innumerable friends all over India with whom he had come in contact during his itinerant life for making up the cost of the new ashram. The encouragement and help he received on all sides was simply marvelous. Within a month of his arrival at Ramnagar, the work of erecting the ashram building was started. Friends who offered suggestion heartily joined it. The ashram was begun only 3 months before the breaking of the monsoon. So the work had to be hurried on. In 3 months, the main ashram building and an outhouse behind it were completed. While to the right side of the ashram, there is a chain of undulating hill. In front, there lie extensive grounds formed by groves of trees and cornfields. To the left, the vision can sweep over about 4 miles, a vast plateau covered with thick vegetation, plains and scattered houses, having at the far end the Arabian Sea with its blue expanse of water. Behind the ashram are rows of hills covered over with verdant growths, having on both sides beautiful coconut trophies, whose crests are majestically in the strong breezes that blows over them from the sea. Stand out on the ashram hill and cast a look around me to present to the sight a most fascinating picture of nature dressed in her variegated colors. When the sun is in midway in the heavens, its rays are reflected on the waters of the sea. It looks as though a vast sheet of silver is shining at a distance. After a few monsoon rains, when the green grass, like a mantle, spreads over the hills and plains, the surrounding offers a bewitching sight to the onlooker. The atmosphere prevailing at the ashram and over the surrounding land is surcharged with perfect calmness and peace. The opening ceremony of the new ashram, which is also named Anandashram, was held on the 15th May 1931. Today is 15th May 2020. 80 years, 89 years. In response to the invitation, hundreds of people from different parts of India assembled for the occasion. Bhajan, kirtan, feast, distribution of food to the poor went on for 10 days. The hills of Ramnagar resounded with the thrilling music of Lord's glorious names. From Maharashtra, about half a dozen devotees attended the function. Janardhan Pant, Raghunath Maharaj, Govind Ramakrishna Joshi, Krishnaji Pandarinath, Madhavrao Kulkarni were amongst them. These devotees took wholehearted part in the bhajans and kirtans. At the opening ceremony, as requested by the assembled devotees and friends, Ramdas delivered a short speech. Briefly put, it ran as follows. Ramdas has the supreme delight to speak to you today a few words at the inauguration of this holy ashram. The ideal which the ashram holds before it is universal love and service, based upon the vision of divinity in all beings and creatures of the world. Here, every man, woman, or child, whatever denomination, creed, or caste the person may belong, shall have free access. This is a place where every effort will be made to cultivate the spirit of mutual love and service, so that what is realized within its walls may prove as an example for the right conduct of human life in the outside world. The Lord is our help and guide in all matters. May He, with all His bounty, shower His blessings on the great service which this home of love and bliss has undertaken to discharge. Today we are reminded of the ideal. Today we are reminded of the purpose for which we have been drawn here. Today we have been reminded about to take stock of what has been taking place in us. All these years, everything was facilitated to us. To what extent we have been able to imbibe this ideal, universal love and service based upon the vision of divinity, not only in all beings and creatures. For the past few days, we have been trying this to bridge the gap between our traditional spiritual activities with our usual mundane activities, so that then only this ideal can be kept aflame without any break. We have not been successful so far to rise up to Papa's expectation. So Papa and Mataji tried their level best to bring it out. And later on, when Pujya Swamiji joined, he also tried his level best. Still, we feel we are nowhere near that ideal. Ideal is not merely tell universal love and service. Universal love and service based upon the vision of divinity in everybody. That means I must be able to identify the common denominator in everything that I come across, in all persons, in all objects, in all situations. So this is a day when we read, oh, every time when we are reminded of the destination to reach, it will help us to move a little faster. So that is the purpose of reading it. And also, when he started the vision in 1933, put the whole thing, in a capsule form. He said, one purpose and aim would be to proclaim the eternal kinship of man with man, man with nature, man with God. In a small preface, he wrote on the first edition of the vision. He clearly spelled out. Easily we can understand. Man with man, the human relationship. Man with nature, all objects are covered. Man with God, God who is behind the man. That we come to know. So first, we develop our relationship, human relationship. Our love circle keeps on expanding at the human level. Initially, it was zero, then it became one or two, then it became five or six, then it became 10 or 20. Like that, if we watch ourselves, we can understand that. Right from our childhood at home, with our elders, with our brothers, sisters, with our relatives. And when we move to the school, again it is expanded. Our colleagues, our classmates, schoolmates, teachers. Then when we entered into professional life, again there is an expansion. Again with the society, expansion. So at the human level, probably many of us have been able to start from zero and reach at some point. Not that we have been able to embrace the whole humanity in our heart. Next comes nature. We are all nature lovers, no doubt about it. Any picture of a beautiful landscape immediately attracts us, is it not? When we drive through the villages, through roads, where we have to pass through forests, hills and dales, what a beautiful sight. When we see wild animals, we stop and look at it, different types. We go to museums, we go to, what do you call this, where animals are kept, zoo gardens. Why? There is a urge in us to connect. And then finally, almost everyone, with very few rare people, they either get in touch with a temple or a place of worship, a person or a guru, an inspirer, or they associate with some rituals by which, some contact with truth God is touched, kindled, or made known to us. So man with nature, man with God. This is our life. Easy to remember. Me, he, and his creation. And in his creation, everything is included. This is our total aim of life. Fundamental. Forget about realization, all those things, big, big words. We want to establish a harmonious relationship with all human beings. We want to have a healthy and loving relationship with all objects. We want to have a permanent and static relationship with and function as an individual. This is the mission, Anandashram, according to Papa. And we have been trying. And the powerful tool he gave us was the holy and all powerful name of God. Here it is, Ram. So while chanting Ram now, we will also keep praying. Enable me to develop the right relationship with man, man with nature, man with. Man with man is relatively easy because we know everything that we claim to know has primarily come from some individual. At home, the elders taught us so many things. At school or college, So many things were taught to us. Actually, the vista was open, my world knowledge, through various subjects. We were introduced to the world outside. That enabled us to form concepts in our life, aim, ambition, targets, everything. It all came because of that. So, man with man, we have some idea, not that we have to, but man with nature, we need a spiritual preceptor to come and tell us. So, here in Papa's case, he beautifully brought it out that the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. And in the next quotation, he gave us one more inspiring. We have the magnificent book of nature spread out before us, a picture of unsurpassing beauty and charm, spontaneous and blissful self expression of the indwelling God. Indwelling God is becomes expressive in the form of nature. Let us look at it, read in it the glorious presentation and the varied activity of the beloved. Look on the infinite play of the infinite one, and by a deep absorption into the beloved, enjoy immortal joy. This is the goal. All else is ephemeral, not worth striving for. So we were prompted or motivated to dwell more and more on this. And for the past few days, we have been trying now how to feel the nearness of God first. The first day we took up Akshara. Second day we remembered Akshara is to be preceded by Shabda. And then in between we also took up God as home. And then Shabda, Akshara, eh? Breathing. Yeah, correct. Because these are all the things, they are with us throughout our waking state. Without sound, none of us can move about. Without breathing, none of us can move out. Without letters, either in the form of books or any such thing, or in the form of thoughts, letters are with us, Akshara. Then we happen to go through one poem of Papa where he says, I find him everywhere. So he was listing so many things. Homi was also there. Let us take up the school, no? For example. We have to go back to our childhood days. Then only we know what all we learned. Our God wanted us to learn certain things through his form called the school. First thing that comes to our mind is regularity. 10 o'clock, it will start, 10 to 4, 7 or 8 periods. Each period having 45 minutes or something like that. Lunch break. there will be a bell. So we have to reach there before that place. At home, we may not be very regular. So there may be a time management there broadly, but here it is specific. Every period changes to different subjects. Every day when we in our bag we take books, which are the subjects that are going to be taken up. Every day the homework is given on each timetable. Timetable. The first concept of timetable came from school. You are right. Which is our basic basis, which is on which only depends upon success in life. We have hardly applied our mind on these because it is not the morning session, evening session. Every 45 minutes, there is a change of subject. So time management, timetable, regularity, and then every time to remind us the quarterly exam, the monthly exam, quarterly exam, half yearly exam, and the final exam. And the concept of exam. Examination is not to move from one place. Examination is to assess our proficiency. If exams are not there, how are we going to be assessed? So, in the form of question papers, the great person whom we don't know, who conceived of this, examination, selects a few questions from the entire portion we have covered, sample, and then watches without reference to any books, without asking anybody. We have to write from our own. Just imagine. First, we collect data, we reflect on it, we contemplate upon it, we memorize it, and then in our exam, we have to present it in our own way. Unlike what we do in now computer, copy paste. No copy paste. Here, we don't write anything. Copy paste. Ah, there we have to write. Select copy. See. Look at the intelligence. God gave how. What we are set in motion. School, we may simply look at first standard, 10th standard, then plus one, plus two pass. No, 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 no. It's a temple of learning. Saraswati Kshetra. Why is it so? Because these are all the things, All Vidyalaya. And then what else? Time management. Okay. Then the question of trying a field is given where you try to absorb, you try to read, you try to memorize, and then you try to bring it out in your own way. And third point, it is not that one subject. When Papa says here, the glorious presentation, the varied activity of the beloved. Varied activity is made known to us through various subjects. Language is there at the base. And then mathematics, physics, chemistry, general science, general algebra and special mathematics, history, geography. Science has got physics, chemistry, biology. Just imagine. man with man, man with nature. They don't bring man with God in school. So God is behind it. He is there in the form of school. He is there in the form of school activities. He is there in the form of school syllabus curriculum. He is there in the form of teachers. He is there in the form of exams. And day for yesterday we found out Akshara is the base. All texts of all subjects have come from lectures. Lectures have come from him. Day for yesterday we exhaustively found out. Think. And then what else? If there is a discipline, unknowingly self-discipline is being imparted. You go to a particular place and sit in the class. Today you sit here, tomorrow you sit there. No. Then another one. What is the next one? Most important, you expand your love circle. The friendship we developed during our school days can never be forgotten. Nowadays, it is slowly being revived in the form of alumni joining together. 25 years after, 50 years after, all are well placed in different places. They all join on a particular date, and if any teacher is alive, the teacher is also brought. He is also brought, and a mock class also will be taken, even after 50 years. Recently, it was there. The same science teacher was asked to take a class. He is 75 plus, and the students are 45, 50. They said, Marsha, in the class, for the joy of it. So the love circle. We have all bidden goodbye to school in 1959, but still everything is fresh in our mind. The moment somehow we pass through the school, area of the school, we remember everything. Though we were all carefree, our parents were taking care of everything. But still, there is an inexplicable feeling of pleasure, joy. Yeah. So the first Harishri, the initiation of expanding love circle, which started from, of course, house, but got really hastened in the school. And then we develop a particular relationship with the teacher. Those who inspire us by their very life. Because their life is the first textbook which we read. And the way in which they teach us. And the care and concern they have for each one of us. There is just like our relationship with our parents, there is a beautiful relationship with us and our teachers, which is unique. And then the community feel. There will be many, many forums in the school where we try to bring out the histrionic talents in us. Everything is encouraged by the school, even today. Music, dance, elocution, reciting, essay writing, painting, like that. So many things. And every year there will be one function where There will be, what do you call a team spirit. We learn something about team spirit. And we remember when we grow up and before, when during our student days. Here we are unknowingly little after name and fame. There absolutely no. When the teacher says you do this, you do that, we do this. That's all. The teacher comes and pats on our back and we get elated. That's a different thing. So there is a community feeling is developed there. All our potentialities are touched and kindled there. Love circle is kept on expanding. The world is introduced to us through various subjects. We develop a unique relationship with our teachers, a brotherly, sisterly feeling with our classmates, schoolmates. Huh? Excursion. Excursion, yeah. It's all team spirit. Team spirit, community feeling. And of course, knowing so many new things. You are right. We used to be taken, yeah. That means we are introduced to the world. The world is rich in its contents. Only a portion or a negligible portion or a microscopic portion would have been known to us or shown to us. But here is just the we are initiated when you go out in the world. Beyond, along with all these extracurricular activities, something about body discipline, body exercise, games through which we learn sportsman spirit. There is a team spirit. They are all taught in the games. Not only that an opportunity is given to bring out your efficiency, but a game like football, volleyball, or cricket, or hockey, or kabaddi, there will be a team spirit there. Each one will be contributing, and nobody will take credit. And there is encouragement from the school side by giving us this cup and all those things. Ah, so just look at what all Papa is, God is teaching us through school. School means schools, colleges, everything. If we take the last portion is not expressly, man with God is not expressly brought out there, but now we know as students of Papa's philosophy, man with nature, man with God. This is the only one by which the eternal kinship between all these three can be eternally fixed or grounded. Examination, yes, yes. Caring. So we remember when suppose we are sick, we have not been able to go to the school for 1 hour, 1 month, or 15 days or 20 days. Our other classmates, when we have friends, we will ask them. They will share what all they have. Teacher will take extra pains to inform us. The caring and sharing comes. Even the vegetarians and non-vegetarians, they will be there. Vegetarians, they keep sharing even their food. They all sit together to eat, no? They will have something to share. So many things. It is not merely the passing of one class to another. No. It is the foundation for our entire progress. For an individual progress, as an individual to progress, whatever is needed, the foundation is given in by God through school. Kindly think about it. When he says that I find him there in the form of school. Anything else strikes to anybody? Please think about it. There are so many cities. We would like to specifically concentrate on schools and colleges. And nowadays, through colleges, this national service scheme, amazing, where they are actually put into the field of identifying themselves with the most deserving the segment who need love, care, and concern. Here, here, Papa says we have to recognize that beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and mind, there is within man the spirit, which is immortal. It is by the power of the spirit that our life is activated in its manifold expressions. In the classroom, first he says, this is taken out from the book, small book, thus speaks Ram. We can put it in the pocket. There, Papa introduces in the classroom, hospital, office, place, factory, field, as well as in temple, church, mosque, ashram, we can add. We should tune ourselves with the spirit. Why he is prompting us to connect up school today? This is the one, classroom. We have been asked to tune ourselves with God. Through all these, not only in this temple, church, and mosque or ashram or such worship, they have limited their unknowingly. Papa's small book gives us not to limit. Initially, we limit because from only after going there we come to know this. Okay, so there is an extra sentimental, emotional level binding to that institution, no doubt. But we should also be, this is what our Guru wants. Our Guru does not want us only to align ourselves with ashram, to allegiance only to ashram. So everyone, man with nature, man with God. So man with God, it should be there in man with man and man with nature. Specifically, he says, in the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory, field, as well as in temple, churches, mosques, and ashrams. We should tune ourselves with the spirit. Divine thoughts and feelings should permeate. Each one is having a role to perform. So it is not merely for getting a certificate or to have a career or to earn our or to we have defined our life now like that. No, we thought education is exclusively for that purpose. No. Those are also needed, but apart from that, it is God who is expressing. If we develop this attitude, we can never forget the school also. Just like we can never forget the worshipping centers or the masters. We can never forget the teachers, the school. We were blessed to go to the school again after a gap of 40, 45 years. By chance, we were passing through that area. Suddenly, we told our friends, "This is the school where we study." Immediately, we were taken there. Somebody came from the principal's room. Nowadays, they are called principal. So we were reluctant what to do, what not to do. So he said, "Yes." He said, "We are one of the old students." He was very happy. He was the headmaster. He immediately called all the teachers and said, "Sami is an old student." Then they asked which year. Then, of course, they thought probably 15, 20 years or 25 years. When we said 59, many of them were not born. And then we said, "Will you please take us around the school?" We were taken round. We remembered the library room, the headmaster's room. It is all changed now. Laboratory, everything, and the class where we sat. Then finally we came to the portico and we were in a pause moment for a few seconds. So the headmaster asked, why you stopped here? I said this was the place where we all assembled on the last day of our school. And immediately after the everything is over, there will be a photo session with teachers and SSLC students. And we remember specifically because, and we want to share this specifically because till such time we did not seriously think about our leaving the school. But when we were all asked to come there were given seats. And when the photographer came, suddenly we realized from tomorrow onwards we are not going to come here. We will not be meeting the teachers. All the structures, they have so many things to tell us. A long period associating with that structure. And then when the photo was taken, after that we went and touched the feet of all our teachers and we couldn't control. We were all in tears. Every teacher patted on our back and then said, "Why are you crying? You feel you will be missing all of us. Don't worry. We were also students. Can we stay in the school? School has now equipped you with everything. With whatever you have got it now, go. Expand yourself in the world. Be an asset to the world. Let everybody think you are a product of this school. Through you, the school name should be remembered by them. This is the way you can pay back. Nobody can remain the school for a long time. So you have successfully completed your 6 years or 7 years. Now, with all that has been given, you are fit enough to go, face the challenges of life, succeed in every attempt. You will remember the school always. We will remember you, you will remember us. And then a patted and back. So all those things, in a flashback, it came when we were just passing through that portal. When we are now sharing with you, it is still there. We are reliving those moments. We are sharing this because it is not a civil structure there. Something more than that. At that time, of course, we did not know that we have to consider school as God. Only after getting in touch with the spiritual preceptor, in our case, beloved Papa, we came to know that school is a form of God. So with that background, we again go through. That is how all these things started coming back one by one. Otherwise, we will not superficially say, I such and such a year, left on such, just like in the TC book. Now, no. Minutely we remember everything. Different aspects of my life, whether it is physical, whether it is cultural, whether it is internal, whether it is external, whether my behavior change, everything, it had a start from school. And luckily we were the blessed ones, we should say, that in our Malayalam compositions, Malayalam text, there were many poems that were linking us with the concept of human values. Even today we remember all this. And the teacher, Malayalam Pandit, ensured that it gets imprinted in our heart. Today, whatever we learn from Papas or any other Mahatmas, it was there in some form of expansion, God concept, the greatest obstacle called the me and mine. Everything was given to us through small poems or essays. Now, when Papa told us that I see God, I see Him everywhere, when he says in the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory, and field, as well as in temple, churches and mosques and ashram, we can add, we should tune ourselves with the spirit. At that time, we did not agree. But when we start applying this dimension, all those things come out. Everything comes out. Teachers and parents, they were insisting on moral ethical values. And even the basics of democracy. There will be elections there. There will be cabinet formation there. There will be judges there. Now, all those things we remember. Everything was introduced to us there. Concept. Now we remember, yeah, a mini world, foundation for pushing us, a foundation for a successful life, an efficient life. Today, if we talk about efficiency in action, all the basics were given to us from the school only. We have prayer in the morning. Yes, we forgot to tell you that. Prayer in the morning. As soon as we assemble there, there will be a line formation. Beautiful fine line. Nobody will see. One boy or girl will share one interesting anecdotes pulled out from the paper. So these were all the seeds, anything value based and prayer. And yeah, and Deshabhakti Ganam, national anthem, and the discipline by we render the national anthem. And on Independence Day, Republic Day, Gandhi Jayanti Day, oh, it will be a big festival for us. They wanted us to associate ourselves with the noble thoughts. So they had devised so many such programs by which we expand ourselves, we come to know, we owe to this motherland. So the motherland should be happy. Motherland is not merely the earth. It is full of nature, full of men, full of creatures, full of trees. So national anthem, prayer, all those things were introduced to us. concept of exam also, please. It's a wonderful thing. So these are all the ways through which God, in the form of school, touched, kindled, and brought out so many things in us at the formative period of our life. It would have been better if this is talk given to us at the time of joining the school. I may not be able to understand, but still, this is something on which the modern policy people should think about. Even if they are reluctant to use the word God, all these plus points, this contains our education institution. Or our education institution stand for these are the things, which is going to lay the foundation for a successful, prosperous, efficient, and a loving life for us. So, Papa made us to cover Akshara, made us to cover about Shabda, made us to cover about breathing, made us to cover about home, and today he took up. Tomorrow we will try some other field which he has listed here. We are now looking at the field not as a field. We should not take it as an intellectual exercise. It might look as an intellectual. Because we are not habituated. But now with thinking on those lines intensely, we will slowly now try. And once we get convinced, we will pass it on to the younger generation. We ourselves will again masticate the whole thing, bring back the whole thing. Enjoy our school days. And try to recognize that it was a form of God. Though I was not aware, today he made me aware that he came there in that particular age and then indulged so many things in me, set in motion so many things in me, initiated me so many things in me. We are, again and again we are trying, to bridge the gap. We want constant God remembrance. Constant God remembrance is broken when we depart from the traditional activities. So in order that there is no divide between so-called labeled mundane and spiritual, Papa in a unique way is bringing out many dimensions so that we redefine our life lived so far and the life to be lived. And also the three things, man with man, man with nature, man with the universe, man with God. Man with man, man with universe, man with these three things. That is the cream of our life. If you are successful in maintaining the proper relationship with these three sections, then we will be successful as a man, as a part of the universe. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Ram Ram Jai Jai Ram Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Many have been responding. They said punctuality, time conscious, sharing of thoughts with friends, equanimity. We start the day with prayer. We take food only after prayer. Scout classes, patriotism, learned about team spirits through many games. Like that, no? So many people are now being kindled. This is what exactly we want. We want to relive this moment. We have recognized now school was a form of God. Correct. Temple. 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 Vidyalaya. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai 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 Ram. Guru Nanak Maharaj ki. Very happy for the uninterrupted session. Somebody has written. Yalayam. Sadikshetra.